Hi Harry, this is Richard. I'll be presenting my project to you. So my project is called Marketplace. This is a place where people can buy, sell, donate, or help others. So as you can see here from the homepage, we have the main categories, and then we have the subcategories for each of those main categories in here. So let's say someone is, looking for help to create a job resume for a web design role. They can come here, create a post, say they're looking for help. Someone looks at that, replies to the person and says, look, I know how to create the resume for you. Just check your email or whatever. You can maybe someone looking to fix car or to get their car fixed, they can come in here. So you can choose to create an account, you can sign in. I have an account already, so you log in and I show you it working now. One of the things I show you is if you try to create a post without being logged in, it will send you straight to the login page. So let's go to this one here, login. So now we are able to create a post. So let's just choose here a category and they show a little bit better. So let's say maybe beauty. Let's say let's call it haircut. So you can go save your post. So you can see in here that says the post less than a minute ago. You get the title, you get the message, you get the post ID, the time again. If it's important for the user can choose to print or the post or save it as a PDF. So once you hit the button, I have no printer here at the moment, so you can see the post and you can save it to a PDF. If you had the printer, you just use the printer here and print it. I'm using JavaScript for that. Let's just cancel it. Also, you get this message here saying the post was created. I have also implemented breadcrumbs in the application, so you can see here that we are in home, then we are in services, which is the main category. Then we are in the subcategory build, which is a subcategory of services. And the post we are right now is the haircut one. So let's go back to the main page. Oh, another thing you can do is we can check the history. So you can go and check your posts. You can just see them. Or you can edit or delete. So let's say you want to edit it down and save it, and you can see the post has been added. Now we have a little bit more information. Maybe you missed something, maybe you want to remove something, whatever, it's in here. So let's go back to a post. I create another account. So it was, oh, here, there's a funny one actually. So this post here, the person said they found panda in Clontarf. So maybe if you saw the panda around, the user will get your message. So the user would get this message here, the email address I'm using, so they can get back to me. So you send it. You can check that if it went through. I created two ways of checking it. It's a text and a HTML one. So once you go to your command line, you can see. Sorry, I was testing something else. Okay, here we go. So you can see here in the text format your message, the email you use, and it says you have received a message regarding blah blah blah, and you have the HTML form as well. So let's go back in here. One of the external data sources I'm using is the Google API. I show it now. I show you the code later on as well. This is for the development purposes only, because if you want to have the full access to it, you need to provide your credit card details. But I didn't want to provide it, and it's just it's the same. The difference is you get it here. So I set up this location using latitude and longitude, so you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can drag it. Another source, external source of data I tried to use was Twitter. It was tricky, I couldn't get it working. It seems to be much more bureaucratic to use now once I start checking on Stack Overflow and some tutorials on YouTube and Google. There's a lot of things that have changed, so I couldn't actually implement that. I'll be heading to the code now. I think here we just showed you pretty much everything. So let's go to our code. So here we can see that the relationship of the posts in here. So we can see here that the post belongs to category, which also belongs to account. Once you go to account, so this is one of the design patterns I'm using. It's called device. So it's a design pattern used to authenticate to requests. So it provides mechanisms for authenticating user sessions. I have more detail on that on my report, which we can check it later on. Another one I want to show you here, we show the post, so the controller here for the posts. So in here you set up the account ID, validate the user, make sure the user is logged in before creating a post. That's what I showed you on the application. Here just gets to the index, show the posts, and new posts. To edit the post, here you create the post. You set the account ID for the logged in user in here. You can save it. You can see we're using JSON for that. I can update. You can delete it. I showed that to you on the application. I have also the another parameter here, which is the category ID. The next thing here, so this is the JavaScript I told you. That's where you hit the button and it opens the option, so you can save it as a PDF or print it. For the overall project, I am using Bootstrap, jQuery, and Device Gems. I just go in here, just show that very quickly. So the Device Gems, the Bootstrap, the jQuery. So just heading back to showing here. So you can see this is Bootstrap again. So you see that pretty much all over the code. Some CSS is also being used. Rails framework layouts are also implemented throughout the code. You can have a look at that on later on. I talk on that on the report as well. Okay, this is just to show the message on the top. When it was posted, I showed that working to you. You have the post title, the content in there. Then you have the option to reply to the user. Here is just adding the post ID and time. I showed that to you in the application as well. And this is JS to handle the reply user when it gets clicked. So here we just set the form. So in the form here, you would have the account email. You would also have the message, and then you just hit send, and the message is sent. You can see some Bootstrap in the code again. On on the form here, we just pretty much we add the fields for the title and content. We add the categories and the IDs to it, which you can see the coding here. The code is commented. You can have a look on that later on. You can go through the report as well. So this is the query. I showed you once you reply to a message, this is the template kind of text you'd get for it. Then you'd get the post title, you'd get the email of the person that's replying, and then the message the person wrote. This is it for the text format. You can check that for the HTML as well. It's the same, just the HTML style format. Show you the gen file. Can go through. Okay, this is pretty much like for the breadcrumb. So here we are checking if the user is logged in, otherwise just show them the normal link. Here we can go to show here just show the category. If the new entry has no category set yet, check out the application helper to see all the code in there. It's all commented as well. So in here you can see a little bit of Bootstrap again. This is just setting, the parent category, and then you have the other categories, and that's I showed you the breadcrumb working. So here in the application itself, you can see I'm using Google Fonts. So I chose just this font from their library. I like this one. That's the one that's been displayed on the page. So in here in the layouts, we have the breadcrumbs, which is the file I just showed you. This is just the divs for the menu. Here we are loading our logo. So we are giving the option to create a new post, user login for the user, Bootstrap again. Here then we have the category sidebar. So here we load the categories the user on a category on the page. So the categories control is being used. Those here are just like the links on the left, where this is the one would send you to the about page and where the Google API maps is set on. For the database creation, I have used Rake in run database migrations. For the deployment, I have checked some different sources. I ended up using Heroku. One of the reasons is it's supposed at least to work fine with Heroku with Rails once Heroku was created. It was pretty much to be used just for Rails. It's becoming more popular now and more applications are being used for it. Unfortunately, I had a problem once I would go to the command git push Heroku master. It would, start doing all that process for a few minutes, and then I would get an error. I tried that a couple of times. The error didn't go away, so I tried to do the whole process again. And what happened was that it was getting a conflict with the previous one that didn't work. So I went to the Heroku webpage. I deleted the previous one from there, tried the whole process over again a couple of times, and always the same error. Looked for help on Stack Overflow. Google couldn't get it working. It went as far as, when it says that, like kind of the process kind of went through and you get the documentation on the page. That's as far as it went. So part of the deployment has been, let's say, processed. Anyway, the link for you is there. You can click on that and you'll be able to see it. But unfortunately, it didn't go to the very end. So, that's one of the problems I had with Heroku. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time and have a good night.